Yo, what is up guys? Nick Nakai here, Let's Drift Media. Thank you guys for coming back to the channel, really appreciate it. Sorry I haven't been posting weekly like I normally do. I've kind of been doing like every 2 weeks, but been a little bit busy. Right here vlogging at work. Today's episode I'm going to be showing you guys how to pretty much remove a transmission on a 240SX. If you guys have never removed one, they're probably one of the easiest transmissions you can remove. Rear wheel drive, there's really not much to it, and if you have a lift like I fortunately do here today, it's like 10 times easier. So you guys know I went to the Flavor Express drift event. It's first time drifting in a while. I was pretty rusty at first, got 3 laps in, then my water pump blew up.
This is cooling. Your water pump, oh, it's so sweet. No!
It's like 2.
So yeah, that was all bad. Went to AutoZone, replaced it, got it back running, got back out there and pretty much did like another 20 laps and went to go swap out my tires. And then after I put the new tires on, I went to go do a burnout to break the new tires in, and I thought I was burning out, but I just started smelling clutch once I started going down the straight. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I just killed the rest of my clutch. Whatever was on there, I mean, it's like a $190 clutch off eBay, so I can't expect too much, and I have driven the hell out of it and done a lot of clutch kicks. So to me, it's worth it, but anyways, gotta replace the clutch. So yeah, that's what today's episode is gonna be about, so let's get started. Another thing before we get started with this video, we just got new lighting in our shop. It just looks freaking amazing. Like, it is so bright in here, it's crazy. So you guys saw the last videos, they're pretty dark and shady, so hopefully some videos start coming out a little bit better. Told my boss huge shout out for upgrading these lights. I love them. Alright, so there's only a couple steps to removing the transmission. It's going to be the bell housing bolts. Usually you could get a couple up top. I'm just going to go ahead and lift it up though, see if I could just get them from the bottom. Drop down the exhaust, drop down the drive shaft, and disconnect any electrical connectors, and I believe that's it. But before you get started with this job, disconnect the battery. And also don't forget to disconnect the shift linkage. Depending on how much stuff you have in your car, you might have to remove some trim panels, but mine's really right there, so I just got to pull up that rubber boot and hit that snap ring and call it a day. Alright, so you can see underneath the shifter, there's that snap ring located in there. Either use snap ring pliers, some tiny screwdrivers, or needle nose pliers. I've figured out works pretty fine. I usually use that, so. Alright, so once you pry out that snap ring in there, you pull the shifter right out. Just like that. Make sure you do not lose that snap ring. You will need it. Go ahead and put that there. That way you don't have any trouble trying to lower the trans and wondering why it's not coming out. Let's go ahead and go up and check out the bottom side of the vehicle. Alright, so as you guys can see, my transmission's leaking, which is not good, but that's alright. Exhaust, obviously, you're gonna have to come down on this. Drive shaft's gonna be hitting it. Oops, sorry. So we're gonna drop this exhaust, pull this drive shaft out, drop that. Loosen these back ends for the trans bell housing mount. Or tail housing mount, I should say. Sorry. And disconnect the slave cylinder from the transmission. Unplug any electrical connectors. And that's about it. So you can see there's not that much holding this transmission on. So let's go ahead and get started. I guess I'll just do like a time lapse. Show you guys what's going down. Now here comes PDI Alex. Alex, what are you doing?
Working, what are you doing?
What is that, a PDI?
Yeah, because I'm a PDI Nakai now.
Fucking guy. Thank God you're here. Ow, I fell in my head.
Oh.
It just flipped. It just swung.
I know, I was like, dude. That's why I grabbed it right above your head. I had a feeling too.
Huge shout out to the homie Chaparro for not only saving my life, but getting me the car here. Alright, so I got the exhaust off. Now it's going to give us room to drop this drive shaft. And yeah, smooth sailing from there. Let's go. So as far as removing the drive shaft, there's going to be 14 bolts on the diff right here. It's going to be this little safety plate in case your drive shaft were to ever fall off so it doesn't fall down. There's going to be those center bolts right there. You're going to have to take those off. And then the drive shaft should just slide out. You might leak a little gear oil, so expect some unless you want to drain it, but I'm not going to drain it. See what happens.
Oh, fuck no.
Also, when you go to remove these, I like to just leave the car in gear if you don't have a person helping you. So you could go ahead and crack them loose and then rotate the drive shaft once you take it out of gear. If any of you guys remember my old episodes, you remember that problem I had where damn drive shaft was just eating away this seal. Looks like it stopped. There's still some metal residue, but yeah, that was a real nightmare. So now all we have to do is remove these 4 14s. Make sure you support this back end because it's going to tip back quite a lot. I already disconnected the harness. Just need to take off these 2 17s on the clutch slave and start zapping off the bell housing bolts. Yeah, we should be good to go. Recommend tying a strap to it just in case it starts flopping around, especially if you're doing this job by yourself. You don't want to be that guy calling someone for help. Alright, got all the bell housing bolts off. See the trans is kind of splitting from the engine a little bit. A little tip of advice too, these black plates right here that mount from the trans to the engine, there's one on each side. When you go to put them back on, there's going to be 2 14s up here holding it to the block on both sides. Go ahead and loosen those up. It'll make it a lot easier when you're trying to align the holes to match up with the transmission. So now, yep. So yeah, all we gotta do now is split it and lower it down. So I'm just gonna shove a pry bar or a big flathead screwdriver, kind of pry it out, start going down, make sure we're not getting caught on anything. You can see my gear oil is hella dirty. Probably some metal shavings in there from my synchros, just slamming in a second gear. Probably should have drained it, but guess I just don't learn. God damn it. Alright, pretty much off. Luckily I was on the lift because I was kind of struggling. This little area right here with the starter was rubbing the tunnel right there. I believe it is a lot easier if you drop your downpipe. You might kind of fight that too, but I was able to get it off. It's been a while since I pulled this. I don't really remember exactly how I did it. You can see right here my throwout bearing, that thing was making noise. So that's gonna get replaced. And that pretty much sums up dropping the transmission on a Nissan 240SX. If you haven't already seen a video, just gonna pull the pressure plate off now and the flywheel for inspection, and gonna get this flywheel resurfaced actually. So go ahead and pop these 12s along the pressure plate off and see the damage. Dude, this shit is fried. Oh my.
What the f were you thinking, dude?
Alright guys, so the carnage results are in. Look at this flywheel. Let me know what you guys think happened. I say driver error. Look at this clutch. Holy shit. Clutch is not supposed to look like that. Pressure plate, pretty toasted. Wow. Damn, guys. RIP clutch. Surprisingly, this was able to get me home about 15 miles an hour on the freeway. But hey, we made it. Damn. The f*** up. Alright guys, well thank you for sticking through if you made it this far through the video. That's all I got for you for this episode. I ordered the new clutch, so that thing should be arriving soon, and now up in the air if I should even resurface this flywheel or just buy a new one and slap it in. So thank you guys for tuning in, and like always, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up.